On the show this week, we have a bunch of showstoppers, starting off with the Hyundai IONIQ 5. Is it an ideal city EV? That's not all. We also have the new Xiaomi 13 Pro. Is it a camera? Is it a smartphone? We take you all the way to Leica headquarters to find out what's cooking in this particular device. And of course, we're also telling you a little bit more about what's happening in the social media world and where the creators need to be a lot more transparent and accountable. It's an action-packed episode. I'm your host, Aayush, Ailawadi, and this is Tech Today. On Tech Today, we like to bring you technology of today and, of course, technology of tomorrow. I have with me the brand new Hyundai IONIQ 5, a car which we've been ogling at for many months, especially on YouTube, but we have it here in the flesh, not in optimum conditions, but on Mumbai roads. What's it like on our special segment, The Electric Experience? All I can say is it's going to be an action-packed electric episode. But for now, welcome to the future. Doesn't it look like one of those E.T. movies or one of the cool Back to the Future or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? This deserves to be either Star Trek, Star Wars or Terminator. And I'd say it's not the villain's car, this is the hero's car. And once you drive it, you'll realize that it's an absolute pleasure. But no spoilers there. The car has this brilliant design. Like I said, futuristic. This color is quite an opinion divider. Some people think this is too plain, they want brighter colors. I think this is how future tech will look, and that's why this is a true testament to futuristic design. Have a look at the wheels as well if you come here very quickly. 20-inch wheels, massive, bigger than even its sibling, the Kia EV6, I think an inch bigger. And again, this looks like tech from the future. Let's show you the back of the car as well. Even if you want a quick gesture control, the doors open quite neatly there. And there's gesture control here if you want to open the boot of the car. And yes, there is a boot. So much more happening on the inside. Have a look at it. There is one quick charger there, no spare wheel, a tire mobility kit and a puncture repair kit, a neat little cushion out there. If you want more space, then these seats, not only do they fold, but they can also be pushed ahead a little bit. Compromise on your leg room, but the fact that there's no transmission tunnel, it's not that bad at the end of the day. Let's close this, but it's looking great on the outside. All I can tell you is, picture abhi baki hai, the real beauty is on the inside. Let's have a look. The minute you sit in the IONIQ 5, if you're a tech geek, be rest assured, this is a cabin made for us tech enthusiasts. I'm going to snap my seatbelt on, switch on the car, and of course, it's got its memory seats, a nice little EV start-stop button right here. And the minute you turn it on, it's already got me in my favorite driving position. It's got an adjustable steering wheel. Let's talk about the steering wheel very quickly. Very sporty, has all the features you need on it. And something different about this vehicle, if you think this is an EV, no transmission tunnel, there's going to be a lot of space over here. Yes, there's a lot of space, but I think they have a design where the driver can choose to get out from that seat or from the driver's side seat as well. Because if you thought that this is less space, and honestly there's a lot of space, storage out here as well, USB, a 12-volt charger, you have a lever right here, which if you pull back, now opens up so much space for me to easily get out from the passenger side. So if you've parked maybe in a very tight corner in between, well, two cars and there's more space on that side, you can honestly just hop out from that side as well. Ambient lighting used fairly well inside the cabin to really accentuate what this car is all about. It's the lighting on the outside that everyone's talking about. That signature LED sort of panel in the front, at the back, which makes this look like a car of the future. Now, when you're talking about LEDs on the outside, there are essentially LED DRL blocks which have been used for standard blinker turn signals. But this minute you turn on the turn signal, they switch from their white mode to a blinking amber. And I think that's a very, very minimalistic but smart tweak in terms of how they've used that LED. And honestly, this car comes alive like Batman the minute the sun sets and you turn on the LEDs. get it on the road. It looks like something from a sci-fi movie. Let's come to the panel and talk a little bit about it. And this is amazing because they've got this design with this divider dividing the two of these. Very, very slick with the use of white on these panels, and bright enough, giving you the right amount of information even on the home page. They're giving you physical aircon vents, very, very well camouflaged, blending in, barely letting you know that they're there, very inconspicuous, but they get the job done. And then this panel out here, which gives you a bunch of buttons. It's not just digital, there are analog buttons, be it tuning the radio, giving you that old feel, even the original Hyundai buttons to increase the volume and reduce the volume. Now, I think Hyundai wanted you to have a romantic evening, but not enjoy it too much, and didn't want you popping out of the sunroof, because they have what you call a vision roof, which the minute I flick this back, opens up in record time. But this is not retractable. But essentially, you can enjoy a starry night right here in the IONIQ 5, and honestly keep your eyes on the road and maybe on this beautiful system when the car is parked. You click it, it's responsive. You want to maybe use the navigation system, zoom in, zoom out, split screen view works seamlessly. Click on the home icon. This is what the menu is all about. You swipe on the left, gets you back to this particular screen, which tells you what range is there on the car. But this is the menu largely. You have the EV settings that we just showed you. The map is right here as well. Very, very intuitive, very easy to load, very easy to understand, gives you voice assistance and guided directions as well. You have phone projection, you can leave a voice memo. The seats are completely sorted with memory seat configurations. You can warm the seat, you can cool the seat, ventilated. It's telling you how it would run with the AC on, how it would run with the AC off, what's the nearest charging station, and if we were to get there, what the EV charge transfer would be like. If you want to adjust the levels, then obviously the V2L will discharge down to the defined minimum charge level. In a nutshell, in simple terms, also charge another EV or an e-scooter or other large devices. That's how capable this battery is. When they're talking about technology of the future, I have to give it to them, because this can actually support 350 kilowatt charging. That means 0 to 100 in under 20 minutes. Now, not only has Hyundai worked out how this screen works, this screen does the job as well. One little complaint I do have is, while this steering wheel looks very sporty and has all the right functions at the right places, visibility of this screen becomes a little difficult at this particular height. Now, you'll ask me, where is the gear? The gear is not even here near the right indicator like the Mercedes. It's actually here at the bottom, and you have P, R, N and D. Very strange placement of this particular lever, but once you get used to it, I think this is something that other cars can adopt as well. So like most EVs, it comes with several drive modes. A nice little Porsche-like button right here. Click it once and we're in normal, as you can see. Click it again, we're in sport mode. The range has gone down, the color scheme has changed. Go in eco and it's this nice little white bit. If you keep the drive mode button pressed, apparently it goes into snow mode. Now, I don't think for a long time I'm going to go anywhere near snow, especially after our recent Euro trip and Barcelona and Mobile World Congress. We're going to be in the sweltering, humid weather of Mumbai. But if I press drive mode and I come to normal, honestly, the car does a fairly decent job. You have different levels of regenerative braking with these two paddle shifters, plus and minus. The minute I do click these, you can see the level changing right there. I'll have to move the car a bit for it to actually kick in. And if the minute I do, you can go from 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it goes into I-pedal mode. I don't want that happening, so I'm going to go back to level 1, where I think it does a fairly decent job with regenerative braking. Now, the $1 million question, or in their case, the 45 lakh rupee question is, what is the range like? Is there range anxiety with the IONIQ 5, especially when you're driving it in city conditions here in Mumbai? Look, they claim an ARAI range of 631 kilometers. In our review of this car over the past few days, and we've not just been ripping it in sport mode, we've tried eco, sport, normal, everything but snow mode. I think realistically you'll get anywhere between maybe 390 to 450, let's say an average of 400 kilometers on a single charge. But given that it undercuts the Kia EV6 by a huge amount when you're talking about pricing, I think it does a fairly decent job with the range as well. In the next rendition, if they do improve on that range, battery optimization will get better, faster charging will be in place, maybe in 6 months to a year, because things are moving really fast in the EV world. This has all the right elements and ingredients to be the best EV on Indian roads. First impressions of the IONIQ 5, it is a smooth criminal. Like every other EV, yes, it's silent, but it is incredibly smooth and planted on the roads. Look, they call it an SUV, and honestly, it might look like it has the dimensions of a hatchback. That's not entirely true. It's 4.6 meters long. That makes it proper SUV territory. But that's not all. When you're actually driving this vehicle with the incredibly high ground clearance and a very stiff suspension, it's an absolute joy to ride on Mumbai roads. While it's amazing to drive here in the front seat, often people at the back complain, and I don't know what the real reason is. Honestly, it's based on the same platform as its sibling, the Kia EV6, which is called a skateboard platform. Now, does that mean they're more performance driven for the driver out here? Maybe, just maybe. A lot of people do complain at the back that they do get dizzy, especially when you accelerate in this EV, because it accelerates so effortlessly. I think personally, and I might be wrong, it's more of a perception thing, because we're so used to internal combustion engines and the way they sequentially, progressively accelerate. EVs, and especially powerful ones like this, can go from 0 to 100 in what, nearly 7 seconds? Now, I have good news and bad news about the IONIQ 5. The good news is that it is assembled in India, so you'd expect it to be a bit cheaper, but the bad news is that it's nearly 45 lakhs. So under 50 lakhs for this particular, I would say, luxury EV, which honestly is competing with the likes of a Tesla or a Lucid, or even what Mercedes and Audi have to offer, and you're getting it on this vehicle compared to the EV6, which is maybe 20 lakhs more expensive. I think this is a much better bang for your buck. But even then, with the range that it offers, over 600 kilometers is what they say. I'd say 400 to 450 kilometers is what you get on the car. This particular vehicle is still expensive for most of us, so it can't be ubiquitous like maybe the Tata Nexon EV, but it is a luxury product. So now the car is assembled in India, and well, only one variant is offered in India. When we were in the UK and in Europe, we saw more models of this particular car, but this one comes with a 72.6 kilowatt hour battery. It puts out nearly 214 or 15 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque to the rear wheels. This is a rear wheel drive, making one of the most powerful Hyundais on sale in India and one of the better EVs as well. Now, in theory, what they have done is interesting, that they've given you a 350 kilowatt charging option. What does that mean? Essentially, it is an 800 volt 350 kilowatt ultra rapid charging option. Hello Teslas, that for now is just in theory, of course, over here in India, because we don't have that ultra fast DC charger. But when that charger does come along, it means 0 to 100 in 18 minutes. Quick pit stop for the final verdict on tech today. After driving this on Mumbai roads, this is an absolutely electric vehicle, pun intended. The experience has been truly enthralling. Great performance, fantastic tech on display. It's 45 lakh rupees, and even though that price might seem like an impediment, bookings are showing no signs of stopping. That's also because we have very few cars that really are in that sweet spot. I think if they could increase range on a car like this or reduce price, this would be the best EV in India, selling like hotcakes. For now, what I can say from a tech geek's perspective is this is perhaps one of the nicest and most tech-loaded electric vehicles we've had on Tech Today. And if this car comes with its next IONIQ 6 and maybe more cars from the Hyundai stable, which are giving competition now to the German manufacturers much before the Teslas and Lucids get to India, this space is going to be one you have to watch. And on that note, you should keep watching that space and Tech Tomorrow and in the electric experience on our website and our socials. And honestly, I am itching to see 0 to 100 in 7.6 seconds. So I'm going to put it in sport mode, seatbelt on, and off we go. Well, from the frigid conditions in Europe, nearly sub-zero temperatures, to the sweltering heat here in Mumbai, one thing remains the same. We have an EV with us. We saw a bunch of Tesla supercharging stations there, and we saw a bunch of IONIQ 5s as well. Very popular car all across that side of the world. And we anticipate it might just be a very popular car here in India as well. But no matter where you're driving an EV, one thing you need to do is charge it, whether you're shooting, whether you're going out for a movie or a road trip. Range anxiety needs to be addressed by the automakers and by us, the guys who own the car as well. That said, I do need to take a break and charge the car, as you can see, and you can take a short commercial break and see me on the other side as well.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.